onto this computer. Right, well, welcome everybody to tonight's call, the Executive Lounge. And this group was actually inspired by Neil. He invited me on his executive. What was your group called, Neil?
Executive Factory.
Executive Factory, producing ranks, executives, focusing on the executives because all the other ranks will come. So we brought all our community together, and this is where the bulls hang out every Sunday, celebrating the success. And we've had another executive hit today, so she's not on the call. That's Anita. So congratulations, she's out celebrating. In total now, we've got 9 managers and 62 executives in the team, and we've reached over 9,000 members this weekend, which is just spectacular. Tonight we're here to celebrate Neil Slim, President's Club. It was following Richard Maud's Saturday training back in April, watching Neil's visualization and planning for success, that I reached out to him, and you know, we've just been friends ever since. This amazing community, we're all here to celebrate each other's success and help each other. So we've met up quite a few times, haven't we, Neil? We've even met up in Spain. You've invited me to your event in Manchester, the Show Me the Potential Waking Up the Members style event, which you've had a big tour all around the UK. Just going to hand it over to you really to tell us your journey, if you don't mind, when you started, how you got into it. Let me just put you on spotlight.
I mean, I feel very sort of humble really, because the last few days, I think it was 1:30 Thursday morning when it flipped over, and the amount of messages I've had and phone calls I've had from people I don't know, they're somewhere in the world, they're in the Cash Effects community. So I feel very, very humble with all the messages and calls I've had over the last few days. It just shows what an amazing world that that we're all created within Cash Effects, amongst all the other rubbish that's out there. But it also is a team effort. I mean, last week we was getting two current execs to manager. Those 2 managers in the right places shoved 2 people to directors, and then obviously I was the benefactor of all of that going to president. But no one gets to president or director without a team, and that's what this is all about really. It's a team effort. I'm just the guy who started listening to all part of it 18 months ago to get to where I am today. So in terms of my story with CFX, for those that don't know, I started this on the 25th of March 2020. If you remember back then, that's when the world was doing something it had never ever done before, and was just shutting up shop to everything, wasn't it? And I rang a friend of mine, Dominic Ricciardi, who's a director in CFX at the moment. He's not far away from president himself, just to see what was going on. I had a couple of months' money in my bank. And facing being stuck at home like all of us for however long it was going to be. Apparently it was going to be about 3 to 6 weeks, wasn't it, originally? To see what he had going on, where I could earn some money up while I was stuck at home like everybody else. And he said, well, not a lot really, but I just got involved in this business called Cash Effects. It literally only been in a day or 2 before. So he got me on a Zoom with Brian Chittick. He went through what this was. The problem is he mentioned these 2 words which filled me with horror: network marketing. Having spent 4 years with another company and I got up to about £350 a month, I was adamant I wasn't going to touch network marketing ever again. But I thought, what the hell? So I bought a $1,000 pack, and I had absolutely no intention to recruit and build a team, no intention whatsoever. But over the next few weeks, because I was bored, like most of us stuck at home, I was just ringing people, just mates up throughout the day, just to have a chat really, and with no agenda. But 2 months later, so around about the 22nd, 23rd of May, I'd recruited 6 people. So my wife, my daughter, which I got paid for out of profits, and 4 mates. 2 of those mates now are directors, Ian Dallas and Keith Kruger. And that had turned into 28 people by the end of May. And something very, very bizarre happened to me, which had never happened to me before in network marketing. I earned $1,000. bit of fast arts, trading pool, uni level. I thought, well, maybe there's something in this. So I went to work. I basically went on every Zoom call there was, trainings, presentations, so on and so on. I pestered the hell out of my upline, asking loads and loads of questions about how this worked, how that worked, what happened, what would happen if I did this. Made a list of people to contact, and went to work. When I say work, probably a half an hour a day. Went exec middle of June, manager at the end of July, director last October, and now a couple of days ago hitting president, which is, as I say, it's very, very surreal, really. But what an amazing business this is. I mean, and the great thing about it, you don't need any particular skill set to do this. You don't need to be a super business person or salesperson to do this. I teach. I mean, I've been in sales all my life. I've done presentations in front of hundreds of people before in my old corporate life, but I haven't sold this once yet. I've never done a one-to-one presentation with anybody. The simple reason is when we start recruiting people, that's part of the training process. So if we do some sort of sexy presentation, a one-on-one presentation with spreadsheets and tours of our back office and things like that, probably 80% of the people we're doing that to are going to be totally intimidated and never be able to replicate it. It just takes them out of their comfort zone. So I'm an absolute firm believer that we've got to present this for ourselves in a way which is replicatable by 99.9% of people. So I've never done one-on presentation, and all I do is I ask a simple question: are they looking for something or not? If they are, I'll send them the videos, cfxsuccessfromhome.com. Arrange a time when they're going to watch it. Arrange a time I'm going to have a follow-up. And that's all I do. In fact, I can give you, there's a friend of mine, Joe, I've known for years. He lives across town. Literally a few weeks ago, he's one of the ones that I'd never ever got round to ringing on the phone. And there's still loads on the phone I haven't even spoke to, Anyway, so I got round to ringing him. He says, about 3 days later, he's still a week later, 2 weeks later, still haven't got round to watching the video. He said, Neil, just come over. We'll have a cup of coffee and just tell me what it's about. So I went over to his office where his business is. He said, well, great, tell me what it's about. I said, no, just watch the videos. And I made him sit through the videos in front of me. Because I know if he does that and he like understands it and gets to the point where he can make a positive decision, I know he can do that with everybody else that he knows as well. So I believe it's 100%. So it's so important that we recruit people in the way which is 100% replicatable by everybody else. I see so many people doing real big, complicated presentations, one-on-one presentations with spreadsheets and this, that, and everything else. Believe me, if someone had come to me with that, I'd have run them off because I ain't got the attention for detail to watch it. I'd have run them off. In fact, Gary Whitaker, that's in my downline, that's been doing these little tour with me, went director in the week. He's got 2,000 people. He was a big wig in another network marketing. He was a top 5 earner in another network marketing company that goes around in minis and got pigs on the doors and things like that. And he's earning probably 20 times now a month what he was earning at them, and he was one of their top 5 earners. And he got approached even before I started with CashFX. He was approached by a friend of his that he's known for years. And this guy started talking about Forex market and Bitcoin and this, that, and everything else. And Gary just always, only when I approached Gary several months later and did it in the way that I've just described, that he then watched the videos and then joined up. So I'm lucky because the other guy cocked up basically and tried to be a super salesperson and bored the pants off him by talking about Bitcoin and Forex and things like that.
Brilliant. Keep it simple. So
Absolutely.
now that you've reached president, what are you going to choose? Are you going to choose the Porsche or the big whopping bonus?
As you know, Lise, I was going to take the cash because I wanted to buy an X5 with it, but I think I'm going to go and get a Cayenne now, having been in your car and seen your car. And I think also getting the extra $25,000 is, regardless of anything else, is still a chunk of money, isn't it? So I'm going to get a Cayenne and then see how I get on with that and enjoy it.
Enjoy it. So that means as well in the uni level on level 10, 5%, and then unlocking 11 to infinity and the global bonus.
Level 10's even start. It's looking healthy already after a few days. It's already looking nice. Level 10. I don't know what the global bonus is going to be yet. We'll wait till the end of November before we see that properly. Well
done and well deserved. And you're off to the cruise?
Yeah, we're getting on the ship. Who's going on the ship? Many people getting on the ship here.
Put number 1 if you're going on the cruise. Put number 1 in the chat. Let's see who's going. Dave Anderson. Lynn.
2 of you.
Then you'll have to go and get your picture taken with Neil. Go and meet him.
Let's have a beer or a glass or something. Finally, let's have a party. Well, I've got on the cruise, I've got all the heads of my 3 legs, all the directors there on the cruise with us. So 2 of those just got promoted. There's, I think I've got about 30 people that I'm aware of in my downline on the ship, and probably lots more that people I don't know. So there's been a few of us that have been recently promoted in the last couple of months, execs, managers, directors, and myself. That so we're gonna have a bit of a party.
Bit of a party, perfect timing, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So when you first joined, then let's go back to basics. So you joined and you made a list. So for people who were new on this call, who were new and they want to build, you've written a list and then you went to work. If I was on your list, what would you say to me? Would you have rang me?
What's your surname? S? Probably not.
Too far down the list.
I haven't even got to S's now, let alone that. Of course I would have done, Lisa, because I know you'd have done a good job.
So how simple? What do you say? Because some people they're just not natural at sharing. And
I just say, look, guys, I've been involved with this however long. Well, the time I started proactively recruiting was about 2 months in. I'd have just rang up Lisa. Look, I've been involved with this a couple of months. I'm getting paid every single week. You need to have a look. Are you interested? Simple as that. Or words to that effect. Don't mention anything. Don't sell it. When I say something like that, you'll get 1 of 3 responses. You'll get yes, great. Send them to your preferred presentation method, videos or whatever it might be. No, guess what? That's great as well. Go back talking about the football or the weather or COVID or whatever the common theme is. Don't try and turn a no into yes. Or what's it about? And that's the awkward one when they say, just tell me what it's about. Tell me what it's about. And the last thing we want to do is start pitching it. I'll give an example. Like when we come out of lockdown, the last lockdown, with July time, I was walking out the gym and I was literally just walking out next to this lady I've known for a year. She owns a sports shop in town. And I was chit chat. How's her business been coping over COVID? And she said, what are you up to? Guess what I did? I started talking about Forex and Bitcoin and everything else. Guess what? She wasn't interested. So the awkward one is, what's it about? So all I'll say is, look, I'm not going to do you justice by trying to explain this myself. Just watch these videos in 19.5 minutes. If people won't watch it, it's a no. Move on. If they're not prepared to spend 19.5 minutes investing in something which we all know is absolutely amazing, find somebody else. There's something like 8 billion people on this planet. Most of them, 99.9% of them haven't heard of this yet.
Exactly. Katie, I think you've got some questions. Do you want to come and say hello? Where are you?
Hi.
Are you?
Where are you?
Hi, Neil.
I see you. I can hear you. Can't see you.
You see me?
I can see you now.
You don't need to see me, Neil. It's fine. How are you? We met you in September, and it was and Gary as well, and it was an absolute
in Manchester.
Pleasure.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, I remember.
No, in Spain. When we were in Spain.
Of course. Sorry.
I know you've travelled the world. It's fine. It's okay. With Gary. So please tell Gary congratulations on behalf of us all as well. It's amazing. Absolutely superb. Yeah. I did have quite a few questions, but I think you've covered a lot of them. And the main one really was the prospecting tools, which you have covered with regards to using the marketing suite that we use. So my plan B for your question was, what is your biggest aha moment So when you actually thought, this is it with CFX, what is your biggest aha, I get this now moment?
It was, do you know what, it was probably as recently as when I went director, albeit a year ago. That's when I went to director, I had just over 1,000 people. It was 1,020 or something. And that's I mean, I believed it before then, but when that happened, it sort of blew my mind, not just for what I was earning at that stage, but how many other people in my downline were earning life-changing money, more money than they'd ever earned before, or it was getting to a stage where they were earning as much money as what their job was giving them, or whatever their main income is. And that's probably the time when I thought, wow.
That's the word, isn't it? Wow.
I ain't got many more words than that really to describe this.
Exactly. I think it's to see, I mean, we've had 2 presidents in the last 48 hours. Amazing. We've had so many directors coming through this week. It's just blowing up. It's
what's coming next year, what's coming in the first quarter of next year is, you know, everybody on this call, we're in early. People say, Neil, you're lucky you got in early. Everyone on this call is in early. There's like, what is it, 370,000 people, members globally. That's the size of Milton Keynes. If you've been to Milton Keynes, you probably know it's not that big a place. So the amount of members we've got globally is tiny. It hasn't started. And what's going to come in the new year with phase 2, we've all heard about what's coming in part of phase 2. This is going to blow up. And we're at the top of the tsunami. So if we've got a team that's, you know, a little team that's starting to build, we're in the right place. Nice.
Absolutely. And one last question from me before I hand it back to, I know there's quite a few people, there's loads of questions for you. What is your main motivation? Is it the money? Is it the freedom? Is it helping others to do what you've achieved? Is it your status? What is your main motivation?
You know what, it's changed so many times. It's changed from day one. How do I get my $1,000 back quick? Because like everybody else, this is a scam, isn't it? When I first looked at it, so that would have been the first goal. That happened very, very soon. And then it was get to a position where I could live on it. Was probably the first real goal. So, you know, 4 or 5K a month. So, you know, an half decent salary. That didn't last for very long. And then, you know, so, right, you know, when the lottery started, those that are old enough to know when the lottery started, what, 30 years ago or something.
Yes.
And the the lottery win then was about 10 million, wasn't it, at the start, when everyone was getting excited by it. And I'm sure we've all done this, is you know, you've had a bit of a fantasy with your mates thinking, what if I won that 10 million quid, or the Euro win, you know, when you get these stupid rollovers on the Euro million lottery and it goes to hundreds of millions of pounds. What if? Then you fantasize about the cars you'd have, the holidays you'd have, the house you'd live in, the restaurants you'd eat at, the clothes you'd wear, the jewel, whatever floats your boat. But we all would know that buying that lottery ticket, spending whatever it is, 250, whatever it is for the ticket these days, we know the chances of that coming in is 1 in tens of millions, and ain't going to happen. Our academy pack is our lottery ticket, and we know it's the winning ticket. All we got to do is apply it and go to work a little bit, because everything, those fantasies of winning the lottery, it'll come true with this, and we're in control of the winning ticket. And that's where my dreams are now. One of my fantasies in the past was to have a house in Florida, on the Gulf Coast around Naples and in Florida, which is, if you look at Florida, it's about the opposite side to Miami. But the reality of me having that and owning a place there, because it's quite expensive there, it was a fantasy. It's going to happen.
Reality. Neil, thank you so much. And honestly, we are super inspired by you, really, truly. honestly.
You know what? When we came out to Spain the other week, and I knew Lisa said she was going out roughly the same time, we had to meet up. Just because you're in a totally different team to mine, and there's absolutely no financial reward for me spending time with you or coming here tonight. Lisa's come on my calls, meeting up and everything else. It's just, who cares? We're all on the same journey. We're all on the same path, and the more successful CFX is and more trusted it is out there, it just gets easier and better for everybody.
Absolutely. Well, thank you from me anyway for coming on the bull call this evening. I'm going to hand it back to Lisa. I'm sure we've got lots more questions, and I can't wait to see the car. What colour, by the way?
What colour?
Yeah.
Did you say?
Yeah.
Well, got to find a car. Yeah. You know what? I went to a Porsche garage yesterday near where I am, and I'm walking around the showroom. Somebody come up to me, I can help and all that sort of stuff. And I said, yeah, I've got to buy a Porsche. He said, what do you mean you've got to buy a Porsche? And I said, well, I've just won $100,000 and I've got to spend it on a Porsche. What do you mean you spent $100,000? How do you do that? That's a bloody good question, isn't it? Yeah, he's joining up tomorrow.
Way to do it. Thanks, Neil. Thanks so much. Well done.
Guys, if you've got a question, please pop it in the chat. And Dave Anderson, if you want to unmute yourself, ask away, Dave.
Hi, Neil. Congratulations, going president. I met you in the tavern in Widnes.
I remember. That's what I thought about when I was talking to Katie a minute ago.
Right, yeah. Just a quick one, mate. When I sign people up, a lot of people do. I mean, some of the things I'll say to them straight away is just plug into this system. Get on all the calls, go on the training, just take on as much as you can, like you've said before. And then I'll say to them, get a few people on board, starting with your family, get them in the matrix first. But what's the say the first, or the big three things that you would say to people when you sign people up to get them in? Because as you've probably seen, you've probably got a lot of burrs. We try our best with these people and then they just don't plug in, they just stay burrs. So obviously with the success you've got now, what is the main three things that you get people going with it?
After they've agreed to join, they've set up a pack. Is how to take them to the next level. Yeah.
Say that again, Matt.
So they've joined up. They've agreed to join up. They've bought an academy pack at whatever wherever they're coming at. Is where what you do with them next. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think one thing is the whole phrase. You can take a horse to water, but you're not going to force it to drink. Yeah. You're not going to be able to force people to go and introduce other people to this. So I'll just say a simple question: do you want to earn money fast or slowly? And if they say fast, which most will, with a question like that, I say, well, great, okay, let's just go through the process of how to recruit people. And if I've recruited them in the way I've just described, which is what I do, then I say, well, it's as hard as that. That's what we do, and then I'll just repeat that process to them. But again, some will, some won't, whatever. I think 2/3 of the company globally have not recruited one person, and that mirrors my uni level. If you go to networks and you go to your uni level, you can filter all the columns, and if you do that on number of recruits people have sponsored, 2/3 of mine have got zeros next to them. So I think just accept it, what it is. Some those really annoying emails we get on Saturday afternoons. And I think we've all had a few of those really annoying emails on Saturday afternoon saying we've earned some money, haven't done nothing. That sometimes kicks other people into action, isn't it? But keep in touch with these guys. Keep in touch with them. If you've got an event coming on or a Zoom, a Zoom call that's work, just invite them along, and some will trigger interaction, and someone don't give up on them, because I was going to be a bear. I wasn't recruiting anybody.
All right, thanks, Neil.
Any more questions for Neil? Come on, you've got someone who's just got to president. You're all there to rank up. Any questions? Katie, I think you had some more on the list. Do you want to unmute yourself? You had some from your team, didn't you?
Hi. Someone in the chat just said, can they ask a question? And I'm trying to find them, but the chat was going crazy, Neil. Hang on, let me try and find. Somebody's actually said, can I ask Neil a question? So I'm trying to find them. Hang on. Oh, it was Dave. Oh, sorry, Dave, it was you. It was you. I'd like to know as well, just a couple of things really. I'm very much into the law of attraction and focusing. I do quite a lot on that every day. I do a DMO, my daily method of my ops. I make sure I do my tick list every day. I read loads of books and everything. What is your main driver? What is it, the one thing that you do every day? Is it a certain amount of calls? Is it a certain amount of training? What is it that you actually do? Make sure that you do every day to keep yourself focused and motivated on this journey.
I wish I was as so organised as you, Katie. I'll be ambassador by now. Do you know what? This whiteboard here over my left shoulder. This is when me and Lisa started talking. You know, the visualisation thing. So over the last sort of few weeks, knowing that things were happening, I just focused on that. So on this whiteboard here, I've now completed my president structure. I've got 3 big green blobs at the front with the 3 directors in, the managers, so on and so forth. So over the last few weeks, knowing that this is getting close, I was just focusing on specific people that we needed to move. So people that were going to get to execs are going to get to managers, and then we'll just having like little group team meetings with those relevant people, and holding each other accountable to about what we were going to do on a sort of daily or 48-hour basis, meeting up with them, and just putting little tasks in place for all of us to achieve. So I think it changes now. Now that's done. It's time to go on the cruise and have a party. It's about the only thing on with. but the next task, seriously, all 3 of those directors want to be president next year. So now we're starting to plan. Okay, how are we going to do that? Who do we need to get to executive? Some of those people that we want to get to executive are probably not even in CFX yet. So we need to carry on recruiting at the base level. We need to make sure we get the right structure right, the right people right to fill those holes for the new execs and managers and directors to shove up the people to the president. So it's just goal setting. It's just working with specific people that are showing promise and that want to do something. And as we just talked about with Dave, not everybody wants to do something, which is fine. But you'll see in your downline the people that start moving. You know, it'd be so obvious that people that are not are moving and starting to do something for themselves. Because you see them on calls like this, you see them recruiting, you see their points moving, and then let's work with them and let's make it happen with them. So the task changes, Katie, depending on who it is. But that's the sort of stuff I'm doing for a few hours a day now. It's just working with specific people that want to get somewhere.
Yeah. Brilliant, thank you. That's what we're trying to do with the deep dives. We're trying to go as deep as we possibly can, build them up from under the executives, and obviously everyone else above, you know, works. And it's
but don't, you know, some people don't want to do it, which is fine. Some people want to just stay passive. That's absolutely fine. You know, just because they're in the place where you need someone to be an executive, it doesn't mean you put a noose around the neck and drag them there, because it won't happen.
Oh, I better release the nooses then. I'm joking. Oh, Neil, it's fantastic, honestly. I think somebody's got some more questions here. Hang on 1 second. They're popping up as we're going through. Hang on. What is the best piece of advice that Neil can give? Right. So somebody's mic's not working. What is the best, and this is from Pat, what is the best piece of advice, the single piece of advice that you can give to anyone starting out on this journey?
Hi, Pat. I guess if you want to really make this business go, you need to plug yourself in and learn about it in as much detail that you can cope with, like you would do any job. So whatever you do for a living, Pat, or anybody else, you didn't wake up one morning and be an expert electrician or an expert nurse or whatever. You had to learn the job. And this is the same thing. You know, if you want to be successful with this, learn the job and then apply it. But don't, when I say learn the job, don't be studious about it and stop you actually doing activity. Because with something like this, probably one of the best ways to learn to do the job is to get reasons to be busy. When I'm talking about learning the job, understand the compensation plan. So when I sit in front of a team of, 30, 40 people on my team, And I asked them something, well, what's the leadership prize when you get to exec? What do you need to do to get to manager? And most 2/3 of the room probably don't know the answers off the top of their head. Well, if they're serious about this business, you'd know that. Yeah, so just learn that compensation plan properly, learn how to recruit people and do it, and you'll get better at it. Just plug yourself in.
I love, from what I've picked up anyway this evening from you, is the fact that you are definitely using John Kinnear's marketing suite. You're using his questions and answers. You're using the, do you want to make money fast or do you want to make money slow? You're using the tools. I'm
not clever enough to come up with my own system, that's why. So I just copy something that works. It's easier, isn't
it? It works, exactly, and it's been working for 30 years for it.
It's not reinventing the wheel.
Absolutely. We've got another question here from Stephen Johnson. Do you want, Stephen's in your team, Lisa, do you want to read that?
Carry on, Katie, go on, it's all right.
Oh, okay. Right, hi, Neil, and congratulations, he says. May I ask, once someone has watched CFX Success from Home and they may come back to you and say that they've looked on Google, so this is covering the negativity, I suppose, what would you say to them about the false reviews, clickbait, etc.?
If they're coming to me, look, the UK seems to be negative about everything and everything, doesn't it? Probably led by the media, and we've seen that in the last 18 months, I guess, more so than ever. But I don't think it's just this. I don't think it's just the UK. People don't like saying no. So some people, a lot of people, try and justify a no by trying to be more educated than we are about this opportunity. So that's when they go to Google and they'll try and hang their hat on some of the rubbish that's on Google. It's a no. Move on. So it's not for you then. Take it away from them. I can't be asked. I really can't trying to turn a no into a yes. They're going to be, even if they join up, if you persuade them, they're going to be hassle. You're going to moan about this, that, and everything else. The colours, the logo's the wrong shade of green or something. They'll be moaning about something. So just let them be. And you know what? And the most powerful thing is, because they expect, like, if we've gone to, you live in Spain, Katie, when timeshare sales guys are everywhere, all over Spain, Portugal, the Canaries, you couldn't get them off you. As soon as you even made any sort of eye contact, they were like a rat, weren't they? They just wouldn't let go. So that's what people expect. They expect people to fight. That's why they're armouring themselves with all this information, trying to justify and back up their decision. When we don't go and fight with them, they're gobsmacked. I'll just say, okay, it's not for you then. Fine, that's absolutely fine. And you know what? Loads of those people come back. They'll be watching. I've got people that are managers. Yeah, yes, occasionally, some of them. I've got people that are managers that said no to me and then came back to me months and months and months and months later. They're now managers.
So you keep the door open, basically.
Well, if they want to join up and they've got the right attitude, I ask, I make it a little bit different. I say, well, what's changing mine? Keith Kruger, who's now a director with, he got 4,500 people in his downline. When I first approached him about this, he'd just got involved in another network marketing business selling cannabis oil. And he said, no, it sounds all really, really scammy, whatever. So I rang him up about a month later, how are you getting on selling your drugs? And at that stage, he hadn't sold any. It was like 120 quid for a little bottle of CBD oil. And I wind him up all the time now. I had a beer with him the other night on Friday and said, can you imagine if you were still a drug dealer, Keith? And he said no to me. It's only when I got my money back that he then got his attention and come onto this. And that was like 2 months later. He's now director. He'll be president sometime next year.
Absolutely.
So take it away from them. Don't argue with them. Don't fight with them. Just take it as a no. Move on to someone else. We all get more no's. Lisa gets more no's than yeses, Lisa, don't you?
I get more no's now.
You get more no's than yeses, or you have more yeses than no's?
I think I've had more yeses than no's.
Do you? Actually, you're a superstar. I wish I did.
Neil, and one last question for me. Back to Lisa. Sorry, Lisa. Do you, somebody just put in here, how do you promote it? Do you actually pick up the phone or use social media, farm, cold market, raw market?
The amount of people I've signed up that I don't know is I can count on one hand. I've probably signed up about 80 people in total. Everyone else I've signed up, probably 99% of people have been on here already, that people already know. I keep seeing people. I was talking to somebody I signed up a while back. He's spending a fortune trying to do some automated Facebook thingy. And how many people you signed up? No. Why? There's no need. Why complicate it?
Yeah, pick up the phone. Neil, thank you.
Bearing in mind, just one thing I'll say: nobody joins CFX. Everybody joins us. 99% of their decision is about them trusting us to have a punt. It's not about Cash Effect, because if they go onto Google, they'll see all the rubbish. They're not joining Cash Effect, they're joining us. So if you're contacting someone cold, someone you don't know, someone with no connection with already, where's the trust? It's not any, they don't know you.
Exactly.
Use this.
People go with people who they know, they like, they trust. Absolutely. Neil, I'm going to hand you back to Lisa. Thank you so much. Hope to see you soon. Thank you.
People, you know, unless they actually say no, they were never no, are they? They just are not yet.
Well, that was exactly.
In all the time that I've been doing it, I've had 2 just no's. Otherwise, they're just not yet. And it's just, they always come back, don't they? They always come back.
Yeah. And when they say it's a Ponzi, it's a scam, it's something else, just okay, it's a no for now. It's not right for you now. It's fine.
How many people have you got on your front line, Neil? Because you've also built under family. Tell us about that.
I've got 5 people on my front line. So got 2 of my directors. One's an exec, Vicky, who's a manager, my wife, and then there's Gary Whitaker underneath Vicky, that's a director. And do you know what the funny thing is? We found this out. One of the guys I signed up on my front line, he's one of those first 6 I signed up that when I wasn't recruiting. A guy called Ben, I've worked with him for about 15 years, lives in Bournemouth. Purely passive, hasn't recruited anybody. 2-3 weeks ago, we upgraded to the $2,000 plan. And he rings me up. It must have been after where are we now? 1st of October, Matrix Day. He suddenly received this Matrix email with $20 or something in it. He says, what's this? I said, it's your Matrix. I haven't recruited anybody. Well, let's look at your Matrix tree. He's got Keith Kruger in his Matrix tree. Keith's got 4,500 people. I said, Ben, if he was on the $30,000 plan now with all your levels of the Matrix open, I reckon he'd been earning probably 12 to 15 grand a month on the Matrix, haven't recruited anybody. Guess what? He's suddenly got interested in recruiting, hasn't he? And he's coming on the cruise. That's how bought in now he is.
Wow.
He's booked a ticket to come on the ship.
That's amazing. Any other questions to ask Neil? Pop them in the chat. And how many have you got in your team now, Neil?
Good question. It's just under 8,000.
Absolutely brilliant. I think everyone's stunned because there's no questions coming in.
You know what? Talking to people though, when they say, I think a lot of people think there's some sort of magic formula. Only a few of us actually know about, Lisa.
Yeah.
And I think when we lay it out like we've done tonight, you know, it's such a simple process. I think it just sort of I think some people get disappointed because there's not this magic wand, but other people thinking that then inspire them to actually do it because they know there's not a magic formula. And we all started with 0 downline, zero lifetime points, and we all started in the same place like everybody else. And if you're reasonably consistent, this is a stupid thing that happens, eh?
No, well, we've loved having you on the call. If there's nothing else, we're gonna.
Dave just said he's got another question.
Who's that?
Oh, me, Lisa.
Yeah. Oh, Dave, yeah, go on.
Just a quick one. It was I'm always on the calls, and going back months and months ago, I think Richard Maud's mentioned it, John Careers mentioned it, and they mentioned about we could possibly go back into pre-COVID results come summer. So summer, I assume, is Panama summer, which is December to April time. Is there is this possible that we could be getting bigger results? I mean, how the results are coming now is obviously through the EAs. Did they turn some of the EAs off or something? Or is it something that you know anything about? No.
You know what, Dave? I couldn't be less interested, really. I'm not in control of it. I can't influence it. I just couldn't be less interested in it, really. When it happens, if it happens and it gets back up to those, what was it, 11-12%? It was before my time. If they get back up to that a week, happy days. If they don't, happy days, whatever.
Okay, the last question then from Jan. What do you love most about the company?
Oh, God. Only one thing. Just far too many to mention. It's easy to say the money. It really is to say the money, but that's obvious, isn't it? Do you know what? I think one of the things that's really different about this company the most is the transparency. For a company, which is now a big global company like this, and you get Waskar coming on those end of month calls, and occasionally, when you're up to director level, you get invited to other calls during the month as well with him. With the problems, the techie problems I've had with the payment processor in the last few months, which has been annoying to all of us without exception, it has. To see him come on the call and be at the end of month call in front of the whole world, on a recorded as well, and being so humble and honest and genuine, I think that's probably it'd be so easy for him to hide, wouldn't it? And the fact is, we're going to have a party with him some of us are having a party with him in a couple of weeks' time. If he was anything other than what he was, he wouldn't put himself in that position, would he?
Oh, well, have an amazing time. A few bottles of champagne for me, a few bottles for Katie.
Probably Prosecco, being an Italian cruise ship, probably Prosecco.
I'll be having a few beers with you, Neil. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, but mate, come and find each other. We'll be definitely having a party.
Well, thanks for coming on the call, Neil. Really appreciate your time.
It's been a pleasure.
Just mind blowing, all the success that's happening.
Crazy, eh? Crazy.
And I was just trying to see if Kerry was on the call. Kerry's driving back from Birmingham, and I know she wanted to come on. She went to your recent event in Watford, and also Lars, who was in the Cardiff one, but she's not on the call either.
Yeah. Where's Robbie?
Where's Rob?
Yeah.
He's not on this call, is he? Nothing word to him.
Cool. Great. Nice to meet you all again.
All right. Thank you very much.
See you soon. Bye.
Thanks, Neil. Congrats to Gary as well. Bye. Thank you.
Congrats to Gary. Yeah.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you soon. Bye. Bye. Right, guys. Stopping the recording. If anybody